They called him Pastor Ray. Not because he ever preached, but because in a gym full of thick, curvy women dressed in tight leggings and bouncing bosoms, Ray never, not once, looked. While his friends, Dozy and Kelvin, would nudge each other and whisper wild thoughts about every new gym babe, Ray remained focused, headphones in, eyes forward, muscles flexing with monk-like discipline. "You sure say this guy no day fast," Kelvin joked once, mid-set, as they watched a girl with waist beads stretch like a goddess in slow motion. Dozy chuckled. "Forget. Not Pastor be this one. Spiritually blind." They made it a joke until it became a curiosity. Why didn't women tempt him? Was he shy? Was he hiding something? Or was he truly holy? So they tested him. One Friday they paid Blessing, a fine waist-snatching slay mama, to show up at the gym. She was perfect for the trap. Dark-skinned, glossy-lipped, wearing a top 2 sizes too small, and shorts that barely qualified as clothing. She entered like a walking sin. Every man in the gym noticed, including the trainer. But Ray didn't even flinch. He continued lifting weights, sweat dripping down his sculpted back, eyes locked on his reflection like she didn't exist. When she leaned near his bench and accidentally dropped her towel, he simply handed it back without looking twice. Blessing left confused. Kelvin's mouth was open. "Omo, maybe he's cursed." Dozy just laughed. "Nah, I think we're dealing with a real celibate. This guy's eyes no day work." But that was before she walked in. Before the woman who made Ray's discipline crack, entered the gym like she owned time. And none of them, not even Ray, were ready for what was coming next. Monday morning at the gym smelled like sweat, metal and ego. Ray was mid-rep. Deadlifts 100 kilograms, no flinch. The mirror reflected nothing but form and fire. Kelvin and Dozy were at their usual corner whispering about one girl with an overripe behind. Then the gym door opened. And the air shifted. She entered slowly, like a woman who didn't need to rush for anyone. Her waist was soft but firm. Her hips curved like poetry. Her skin, brown sugar, smooth and glowing with a touch of expensive moisturizer. Her gray-streaked braids swung behind her like whips of wisdom. And her gym outfit, a black, body-hugging, high-waisted set that didn't beg for attention. It commanded it. Ray turned. Mid-rep, mid-focus. He turned. His eyes locked on her, slowly trailing from her legs upward, shamelessly admiring the way confidence wrapped around her body like a second skin. Kelvin saw it first. "Wait." Dozy leaned in. "Omo. He's looking oh." They both stared at Ray in disbelief. Ray wasn't blinking. His mouth was slightly open, his barbell forgotten. His heart was racing, not from the weights but from her. She walked past him, smiled politely, and went straight to the treadmill. And Ray, the unshakable, unmovable Pastor Ray, followed her with his eyes like a teenage boy discovering desire for the first time. Kelvin walked over, waving a hand in Ray's face. "Guy, hello. You day see vision." Ray didn't answer, just smiled. The kind of smile men give when the devil finally speaks their name in a woman's voice. "You're gone," Dozy muttered. "Of all people. Nah, sugar mama scatter you." Ray's smile deepened. "Her name is Class. And I think I just saw God in her hips." Ray was at the gym by 5:20 a.m. The place didn't open until 6. He sat on the pavement outside, hoodie over his head, pretending to scroll on his phone. But his eyes kept darting to the road like a man waiting for sunrise. Like a sinner waiting for grace. His friends weren't coming today. They'd laughed too hard yesterday, joking that Mama T must've slipped him something spiritual. Ray didn't care. He wasn't here for banter anymore. He was here for her. At 5:38, a silver car pulled up. And there she was. She stepped out in another flawless gym outfit, this one dark burgundy, hugging her like a secret she hadn't told anyone yet. Her braids were packed neatly today, and her lips glistened faintly in the morning light. Ray stood up too quickly. She noticed. "Mile." Well, she said, locking her car. You're an early bird. He chuckled, adjusting his hoodie. I guess. I was hoping to catch the worm. She raised an eyebrow, amused. That's a terrible pickup line. It's not a line, he replied, then paused, his tone softening. I just wanted to talk to you. Not while lifting weights or surrounded by noise. She folded her arms, leaning against the gym's closed doors. I'm Mama T, by the way. That's what they call me. Ray, he said, stretching out his hand. She took it. Her hand was warm, confident, and something in Ray's chest tightened. Like the touch was waking parts of him he'd kept buried for years. You always come this early? She asked. He shook his head. No. Just started. She tilted her head. Because of me. Silence. Ray smiled shyly. I haven't stopped thinking about you since you walked in. She blinked. A slow, unexpected blush bloomed on her cheeks. Ray, I'm old enough to be your mother. He stepped a little closer. Then maybe I've been motherless for too long. She laughed. It was full, rich, the kind of laugh that made you want to say something funny again just to hear it twice. The doors clicked open. The gym was ready, but Ray was already warm. Inside they worked out separately. But every glance they shared felt like a stolen kiss. Every smile a quiet promise. And though no one else noticed, a fire had begun to smolder. The next morning Ray arrived even earlier. 5:10 a.m. He paced outside like a teenager with a crush, rehearsing casual lines in his head. You look strong today. No, that's dumb. How's the glute work going? Worse. He hated himself for caring this much. But when Mama T arrived, all words evaporated. She stepped out of her car like music in motion. Cream-colored tracksuit, skin glowing even in the early light, smile soft but guarded. Ray, she said, surprised. You beat me here again. He nodded, nervous and excited. Guilty. They didn't talk much this time. Just smiled. Walked in together. She worked the leg press. He did upper body, but his eyes kept wandering. Every time she bent, stretched, or adjusted her position, it wasn't just physical attraction, it was devotion. He was studying her like art. Then it happened. Around 7:30, as she was finishing her stretches, a black SUV pulled up just outside the gym. Ray stood near the water dispenser, wiping his face when he saw a tall, handsome young man hop out and walk straight to Mama T. Hey baby girl, the man said with a grin, opening the passenger door. Ray froze. Baby girl. Mama T laughed, swatted him playfully, and stepped inside the SUV. The door shut. They drove off. Ray stood still, towel in hand, chest slowly caving in. So she was taken. That explained it. The calm confidence. The untouchable energy. She wasn't interested because she already belonged to someone else. Back in the locker room, he didn't speak to anyone. His friends weren't there to tease him, but he didn't need their voices. His own thoughts were loud enough. He lay on his bed that night in silence, staring at the ceiling. Why did this hurt? Why did it feel like betrayal? He had no claim on her. She never promised him anything. And yet, every moment they shared suddenly felt cheap. But deep in his chest, something else stirred. This isn't over. He didn't want to back off. He didn't care about age. He didn't care if she was taken. He wanted her. And this time, he was going to fight for her. Ray didn't sleep much that night. His dreams were short, restless flashes of her smile, her curves, the way she said his name. But each time it ended with that man's voice. Hey baby girl. And Ray would wake up frowning in the dark. By morning, he had made up his mind. He dressed carefully. Not just gym clothes, cologne, a clean haircut, and a white towel rolled under his arm like a man walking into war. And in his other hand, bouquet, roses, deep red, wrapped in black silk. It was stupid, childish even. But he needed to know if she could feel even half of what he was feeling. Because this thing, this fire inside him, wasn't cooling any time soon. When he walked into the gym holding flowers, heads turned. Some women smiled. Some giggled. But Ray didn't care about them. His eyes were searching for one person only. And when she entered, slightly late, stretching her arms with that graceful sway of hers, Ray walked up to her without hesitation. "For you," he said, holding the bouquet out with both hands like an offering. Mama T blinked, visibly stunned. "Ray, what's this?" He smiled. "It's not your birthday." "I know." She looked around, a little flustered. "Everyone's staring." "Let them," he replied. "They stare at you anyway. I just wanted you to hold something that reminds me of you." She was quiet. Then she smiled. It wasn't her usual polite smile. It was softer. Something cracked open in her eyes. "Your trouble," she whispered. "I'm trying to be," Ray said, stepping closer, lowering his voice. "But only for you." She laughed quietly, taking the flowers. "You're too young to be talking like this." Ray leaned in slightly, his voice rich with heat. "I'm not trying to play games. I've never chased a woman before, Mama T. But I think you've ruined me." She held the bouquet tighter, trying to maintain composure. "Ray, I saw that man pick you up yesterday," he added. Her expression shifted. "That's my son." Ray's heart skipped. "You're..." She nodded. "My only child. I had him young." A silence passed between them, thick, loaded. Ray's smile returned, this time bolder. "Then I'm back in the game." And Mama T. She didn't stop him. Not with words. Not with eyes. Not with that blush creeping slowly down her neck. "Come by," she had said, almost too casually. "We'll talk. I make a good glass of zobo, or wine if that's your sin." Ray stood outside her door that evening, heart pounding harder than it ever had during squats or bench presses. His palms were sweating, and not from exercise. There was no gym now. No dumbbells. No friends watching. No music. Just him and her. She opened the door in a silk robe. Cream. Loose. But low enough at the neckline to remind him she was all woman. Her legs, long, soft, glistening, peeked out with every movement. "Ray," she smiled. "You came." He cleared his throat, trying not to stare. "I said I would." "Sit." She gestured to the sofa. The lights were dim, jazz music playing low in the background, a bottle of wine already open. She handed him a glass. "To curiosity," she said. He clinked her glass. "To whatever this is becoming." They talked at first. About fitness. About books. About how she used to dance. About how he used to draw. But slowly, the laughter grew softer, and the spaces between their words grew longer. She adjusted her robe. It fell slightly off her shoulder. He noticed. "So did she?" "You know," she said, voice lowering, "I don't usually entertain boys." "I'm not a boy," he replied. "And you're not just a woman. You're a storm I want to get caught in." She raised an eyebrow, lips twitching. "Flattery won't get you far." "I'm not here to go far," he said, setting his wine down. "I'm here to worship." Before she could speak again, he reached out and took her hand gently, lifting it to his lips. He kissed her fingers, slow, deliberate. Her breathing shifted. "You don't have to," she began. "I want to," he said. "Since the first day I saw you, I haven't looked at anyone else." He leaned in, kissed her shoulder. Respectful, but burning. She didn't stop him. Their lips met, slowly at first, like two secrets confessing to each other. But then the hunger grew. Her hands tangled in his curls. His fingers traced her spine. The robe loosened further. Skin met skin. And for the first time, Pastor Ray sinned with intention. Not with guilt. Not with shame. But with reverence. He didn't rush. He didn't conquer. He adored her, like a prayer answered in silk and moans. And Mama T. She didn't feel old. She felt seen. Mama T stood in front of her mirror the next morning, touching her lips like they still remembered him. Her robe lay discarded on the floor. Her body hummed from places she thought had long gone quiet. There were faint scratches on her back, little signatures of passion, and she smiled, embarrassed by how much she didn't regret it. She should have felt guilty. He didn't. He felt alive. Meanwhile, Ray walked into the gym glowing. Not smiling. Glowing. His chest was puffed. His steps lighter. He wasn't lifting like a man doing reps. He was dancing with weights. Kelvin squinted. Something's off. Dozy leaned in. He day shine like person way chop angel food. They watched him quietly as he smiled to himself mid-set, muttering something under his breath. Maybe that woman did juju on him. Or maybe she gave him something better than juju. Ray caught them staring. He didn't care. In fact, he walked over to them and dropped the bomb. I like her, he said. They blinked. Who? He tilted his chin toward Mama T's usual treadmill. Her. Kelvin choked on his water. Jesus. Bro, you really. You and that auntie. Ray smiled. She's not an auntie. She's peace. Dozy's jaw tightened. You serious? You slept with her. Ray didn't say yes. But his silence screamed louder than any confession. Meanwhile, across town, Mama T sat at her dining table when her son walked in, holding her phone. Who's this guy that keeps messaging you with flower emojis? She nearly dropped her tea. Ray, she said softly. He's just a friend. Her son raised a brow. He looks younger than me. Mama, you okay? She smiled. I'm more than okay. That evening Ray came over again. No gym. No flowers. Just him, standing at her door with nothing but honesty in his eyes. I want more, he said. Not just the fire. I want your stories. Your scars. Your mornings. Your mess. She hesitated. Ray, people will talk. Let them, he said, stepping closer. Let them talk. I just want you. And when she kissed him this time, it wasn't cautious. It was claiming. It began as laughter. Ray and Mama T had been playfully teasing each other in her living room, wine glasses half full, music humming in the background. The flirting was no longer subtle. The looks, the touches, the stolen kisses, they had become fluent in each other's cravings. Tell me your fantasy, she whispered, sliding into his lap. He grinned, brushing his lips against her neck. Are you sure? Try me. He tried. That night, Ray introduced her to something different. Not just lovemaking but exploration. Positions she had only ever heard whispered about. Moves that made her gasp. He was strong, bold, unrelenting, taking his time then not taking time at all. Mama T tried to keep up, gripping bedsheets, calling out his name, legs trembling under every rhythm. But at some point, her heart began to race in a way that wasn't pleasure. It was panic. She fainted mid-session. Ray caught her, eyes wide with terror. Her breath was shallow, her skin cold. He wrapped her in a robe, called an Uber, and carried her like glass to the hospital. She was admitted. Blood pressure spiked. Body, exhausted. Diagnosis, overexertion. Her son showed up furious. What the hell did you do to my mother? Ray tried to explain. He didn't mean to hurt her. He didn't even know he could. But the boy didn't want to hear it. Stay away from her, he growled. She's not your age mate. She's not built for your kind of love. Ray left the hospital that night broken. His heart wasn't bruised by guilt. It was love that twisted inside him. But Mama T, she called him the next evening. I don't want you to go, she said softly. He visited, sat by her bed, held her hand. I pushed too hard, he said. I'm sorry. She smiled. Your energy is fire. But I'm not a young girl anymore, Ray. I can't keep up. He leaned in. Then I'll slow down. Really? I'll match your rhythm, he whispered. Not because I have to. But because I want to feel everything with you. Even the stillness. That night they made love again, slowly. No wild angles. No loud cries. Just deep breaths, soft moans, and gentle waves that rolled over them like sacred water. His hands moved slower. His lips stayed longer. His rhythm was worship. And Mama T. She didn't need to catch her breath anymore. She surrendered to it. And in that slow, unhurried ecstasy, Ray unlocked a kind of pleasure that no fast thrust had ever delivered. Not just for her, but for himself too.